Steve, last weekend had quite a lot of interest in the show at the Manchester Arena. Obviously Terry was our top of the bill there, but didn't go as planned, did it?
No, you know, gutted for Terry first of all. I've been on a good run, and you know that eventually it's going to end. Didn't expect it to end with Terry on Saturday night. You know, I did expect Terry to win, but fair play to Hooker. You know, he stuck to a game plan. You know, stood up tall, used his reach, and caught Terry quite a few times going in. But you know, Terry for some unknown reason wasn't really his normal self. Although I did personally score it a draw, and you know, maybe the last round he lost. He had a great start to it, but Hooker come back. If that was a draw on the scorecard, 115, 113, it would have been 114 each, and then the two silly wide ones, 117, 11, one for Terry from the American and one for Hooker from the English judge, would have made it a draw, which would have been a fair result for me. You know, Phil Edwards 117 and 11 to Hooker. Still can't get my head around that score at all. But you know, fair fight. Terry wasn't as good as we know he can box. Shown a lot of heart and grit, but you need more than that when you're fighting for a world title, and the skills that we know he's got and he's shown in the past. He didn't show on Saturday night, unfortunately. So instead of sat here with the world champion Terry Flanagan, we're going to have to work hard to get him back. But you know, Terry's bastard. Do you want to carry on?
Yeah, just carry on, mate.
Yeah, but Terry, as we know, works as hard as anyone, so Terry will come back from that.
Well, before we go on with the undercard, because we had a lot of interest on the undercard, we had another fantastic performance midweek with Ryan Doyle going down to London, and probably when you look on paper that was the hardest task. When you look at Josh Warrington's fight for the world title, which was a hard task, Terry's fight, which was a hard task, but this where Ryan Doyle went down to win the Commonwealth, he was 8-1 underdog, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a massive underdog, but that was wrong. You know, you sometimes get things which are freakishly wrong, and that was freakishly wrong.
But no, I mean, the guy was a double ABA champion, 12 fights, 11 stoppages. He was done everything right. Yeah. So realistically, it might have been right that.
No, there was nowhere near right the odds, and we kindly took advantage of that. People know, but you know,
the bookie killer.
They built him up as being this voracious puncher, and Eddie was saying like one of the pound for pound hardest punchers in Europe. And you know what, the smoke that was blown up their asses probably changed the opinions of the bookmakers. But we always knew that was a genuine 50-50 fight. Doyle had been in harder fights than well, it was the first time he'd had a proper camp where he took time off work. And train full time. Make a big difference, you know, when you come along and you're a GB kid and you've done this and you've done that and you train full time and you've got sponsors doing that. It's great, and it is a massive advantage to people like Doyle, who's scaffolding 9 till 5, so they're getting up and running in the morning, go to work, up and down the poles, carrying this and that, finishing it and going back to the gym. You know, it's hard for them, so Ryan taking the 8 weeks off for that paid off, and he probably was the difference if he'd been doing his scaffolding job for the 8 weeks prior to that fight. He might not have had it in him, because he had to come through some rough times as well, you know what I mean, and he showed it, and fair play to him, you know. And now we can go back to thinking what a fight it was with Jack Flatley and Troy Williamson. And I've been saying to people, it was like the Doyle and Bellotti fight, but there was 8 rounds of it and not 5 rounds of it. That was a tremendous.
Well, we got that. It was a rematch, wasn't it, from their amateur days, because they met in the 2015 ABA Elite Final.
It was,
and it was a very close fight then. But it didn't start out that way in the professional one. Jack had to weather a massive storm there where he
did. I mean, I've not seen that Troy Williamson fight, and that first round, it was tremendous, so quick and powerful, and everything that a good fighter needs. He had, and he dropped him with a big left hook, which he did well to get up from, and then he hit him with a barrage, which fair play to Jack, looking back at it now, with 4 seconds to go, he's took a knee to make sure he didn't get stopped and got through that first round. And he come back out and won the second and probably the third and fourth round as well. So Flatley needs a lot of credit from that, because I can tell you now, it was Terry Williamson who was dropped heavily in the first and dropped again at the end. He wouldn't have come back and got a draw out of that situation. It just wouldn't have happened. But the tenacity and will to win from Flatley against what I think is a very good fighter in Terry Williamson was great.
Do you think after that now, because everyone was tipping that fight to be fight of the night, and it was, but it never got the TV slot that it deserved. Do you think that's something that might be made again, and this time it could be a TV slot and maybe even for a small title?
Well, I wouldn't do it again just for an 8-rounder. You know,
no.
he deserves more than that. And to be honest, you know, it wouldn't have been a bit of pressure to get Jack Flatley on. I wouldn't have took Terry Williamson for an 8-rounder, but it was just a question that, you know, to get on something like that had to be done. And Jack's been promised title fights and they fell through. So, you know, wasn't like forced into it, because we don't have to do what we don't want to do, but it was a lot of pressure on us to take that fight, and we ended up taking it. And you know, I've no problems with it now, but I just wish it would have been shown on the telly, and then people could see what top prospects Flatley and Williamson are, and that they deserve more than just doing an 8-rounder in the dark at the MEE at past 12 or,
I know, yeah,
or
it's
whatever
sad.
On a Saturday
but
night. It was
the few people that did stay all stood up and clapped, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was just, it was a, I'd say, a special fight. That
what that would have been if it was shown just before Terry or just before the Fury fight. You know, I mean, it just set everything up, because it was a tremendous fight. And both lads want credit for not just taking for the fight, but putting on the performance that they did. And I hope they both get looked after now.
Yeah, definitely. And we had 2 other lads on there. We had Lyndon and Zelfa Barrett as well.
Yeah, I spoke with Pat Barrett, who trains them, and he kind of said that it was a good but not great performances, and I think he's right now. They both did well. Lyndon set off as he was in a championship fight, which is good to see, because he's growing into being a contender and eventual champion, and it was nice to see him pace, but he was cut from an 8 to a 6. So you know, you got a little bit more explosive if you're going to get good operators like Charles Adamu out of there. So unfortunately, I think those 2 rounds meant that his stoppage run, which is fantastic, 11 out of 11 I think it's been, on it, with just 1 none.
No, 9 out of his first 10 fights. That was his 11th fight. That
was his 11th fight, okay.
Yeah. So
he didn't stop someone his debut, so he'd had 9 out of 9 stoppages. So I think if he'd got 8 rounds rather than 6, he'd got the 10 out of 10. But he was never in trouble, and he looked what he is. He's a class operator, you know. So it was a good, not great. If anything, we'd like to probably see him a bit more explosive at times. But it was nice to see that he's shown that he can pace a fight, yeah.
And young Zelfa coming back, getting back to winning ways.
Yeah, Zelfa looked good again. Nice jab. He hurt his hand, which we've seen him switch to southpaw after a little bit. So I think again, expecting a stoppage, but the kid's a tough kid. He went the distance with Woodstock up the previous fight. So you know, a stoppage would have been a good performance for Zelfa, and I think it was the hand that stopped him from doing that. But he's nice to get out after a loss and get a win, and hopefully that Ronnie Clark fight, which should have been on Saturday but Clark wouldn't have it, will happen very shortly for Zelfa.
Right, nice one. Okay then. I'll come back, because we've got a show at the end of the week ourselves, so we'll come and chat about that next week.
Okay, cheers. Thank you. Bye.